Oh my gosh, I started working and completely blanked out on the fact that I wanted to do this on stream. So, good morning, everyone. I haven't even started the lights. Alexa, start the office nonsense. It is Thursday. Today actually is going to be my last day of streaming this week, and the reason for that is because I'm giving a workshop at a conference called NDC Minnesota tomorrow, and it's during this time, so I won't be able to be here on stream, at least in the morning. We'll see how the day goes. Maybe I can sneak in the afternoon or something. Um, but for today we're here, and today I'd like to be able to build some more stuff. We've made such an amazing amount of progress on this casino over the past, I don't know, week or so. I mean, we've made a lot of progress over the last month, but especially this past week, I think we've really rounded a corner, and it's starting to feel like a product. It's starting to feel like a piece of software that I would let other people use. So we're making steady progress. We've made some really good movement today, this week I said, and I think the next step is to really dive into a lot of our checklist, our to-do list, and see what else we can kind of knock out. I think that there are a lot of other things that this needs to do. Um, and let's do this. I'm gonna just jump into the to-do list. We have that sitting here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a list of things that are must. Karthik, good morning. Must happen before publication. I love a good raid. Karthik, good morning. Gold Zulu, good morning. Red Bull, good morning. Watching Karthik stream this morning, I got a little hungry, so I had to go eat something. Karthik, this is only the beginning, right? We can go through this a lot. There's a lot of good stuff in here. I also don't turn things off, so you can see things that have X's are done. So that's always a good sign. I'm leaving sound effects in here because you're never done with sound effects. So it's a constant reminder that hey, there might be other sound effects you could be doing. But what I really need to do... Oh, Karthik, let's get into that. If we want to talk about food. I think I put it on my Twitter. Profile, come on, this stuff. So this is what Karthik is referring to from the other day. This is pancakes with cereal on top with syrup on it. And the syrup is blue, as you can see, and I actually included a picture of the actual product. So this is Captain Crunch's pancake mix. It only just came out. And I saw it and I was like, oh, I'd like to try that. I like this cereal. And they also had a blue syrup that goes with it. So you can see the picture of the bottle here right behind. It's just ocean blue maple syrup. It's not anything... and I will tell you, Kevin Evans and everybody else, it wasn't more sugar... certainly pancakes with syrup are not a sugar-free treat. But pancakes with syrup are not something that I think most people would be like, oh my gosh, that's so much sugar. It's just pancakes with syrup. There wasn't anything different about this at all. This is normal maple syrup. It wasn't any sweeter or weirder or anything like that than normal syrup. It was just a different color. And so it was just pancakes with syrup. That's all it was. But certainly when you see something that's that bright blue, you think, man, there must be so much sugar and flavoring and all sorts of other stuff in there. And it just wasn't. It was pretty straightforward. So this is the syrup. This is the bottle that I had. And these were the pancakes that we made. And so these are the two products that we used to make that. But it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't excessively sweet. It just had the flavor of crunch berries in the pancakes. The syrup itself is just Aunt Jemima maple syrup. It's not, there's nothing weird about it other than it's blue. That's all. So anyway, Harshman, good morning. Karthik, Kevin Evans, Gold Zulu. There was no murders, I promise. But it was surprisingly good. So I just wanted to let you know that that's what Karthik is asking about. Okay, so let's get back to to-do list. Must happen before publication. I feel like I don't want to put this on the list, but I think I'm going to. In-skill purchasing. I think this is something that's going to need to happen. This is something that ideally will help fund the other activities that we want to do with this skill, right? So if people want to buy coins, I want to let them, and we want to be able to use that money to build and do other things. So I feel like in-skill purchasing is something I really need to do. I was also thinking about gamifying this a little bit. So what about achievements? That feels like something else that I would really like to include in this at launch, right? I don't want to add those later. That needs to be something that people kind of find and discover right away. And I have an achievements engine that I've already built, so I think it will be pretty easy for us to be able to track and monitor some of those things. So in-skill purchasing and achievements, I think, are two things that I really want to add. I also want to add a daily reward. So the way I think about this is each day for 7 days, you receive a prize and escalated prize. Day 1, coins. Day 7, something awesome. I don't know what that is. Okay, so we have in-skill purchasing and achievements. We have a daily reward. Yes, that is absolutely true. I also need to randomize some strings. So that's something that I really want to be able to do. So we'll say randomize most speech strings. What else do we need? That we have to do before we launch. Do we need a website? I don't know if we need a website or not, but maybe we do. Not sure if this is required at launch, but quick links. Would be cool. Okay. What other things do I have to do? What I'm trying to do is talk myself out of publishing right away. I love that this roulette list is all done except one. And that one is a really, really fancy bonus thing. We haven't started craps or blackjack. I feel like those need to be in here. So we need crap. Oh no, not that. Let's do this. Craps. Blackjack. I think those have to be there so that we can play those games as well, which means maybe I need to start on those. The leaderboard is mostly done. I'll give myself credit for that. Oh, we have so much APL to do. That's got to be done. All the things. Take care, Karthik. Have a good night. See you soon. Yeah, we've got a lot of APL to do. And I feel like I could really cop out and go real simple with some base level stuff. Like when you spin the roulette wheel, I just show a big full screen picture of a roulette wheel. Yeah, I need to think about how I want to do that. But in a perfect world, I would have a really nice, rich roulette, like animated roulette wheel that spins by and it stops on the right number for you at the time that the sound effect like there's so much I would love to do there. I just don't know that I have the capabilities. I would spend another 3 months just trying to figure that stuff out. At some point, you just got to ship it, right? Have not started. Well, I mean, I had a lot of the crap stuff built. Maybe today is craps day. What do you guys think? Should we build craps today, or at least start it? I don't know if I'll finish it, but we've got a really good mechanism now working where we have this Chatsino standalone stuff, and adding another game shouldn't be that hard. Okay, let's go take a look at what we need to do in our interaction model to do that. So I have a start roulette intent, and the start roulette is really like this is where you make your bets. So I want to do the same thing but for craps. So let's go to intents and let's create a new intent called start craps. We're going to have to model this a lot after roulette. Start craps intent, create custom intent. Okay. So this is going to be the same idea, but we're going to need a new slot type. You notice that I have a roulette position. I'm going to need a new slot type called craps position. I'm going to be saying craps a lot today. And values for this, man, I have a list somewhere. I think I have it in here. Like I have all the evaluator, all that stuff built, so this shouldn't be too hard. The hard thing really is I never built the rules for what you can and can't do. And so there are rules about when you can place certain bets and things like that we're going to have to apply. And I don't have that in my logic now, so we'll have to figure that part out too. So I guess we just add all the positions, and then we'll have to write the logic for when you can and can't do certain things. So how do I want to get this into the the slot? Because I can't just take this comma delimited list. Let's move it over so it's closer, and let's just start. So we'll say NE7. That'll be 1. Okay, now we're going to just move down the list. We're going to say NE craps. I don't know why I'm capitalizing these, but it's fine. Big 6. Big 8. Man, these are going to be tricky. By 4, by 5, by 6. Yeah, I'm just going to have to put them like that, and then I'll have to write a bunch of synonyms for these. By 4, by 5, by 6, by 8, by 9, by 10. Okay. We're going to call this C and E. But then we'll add a synonym for this, which is... No, I don't even want to add that. C and E is... that has nicknames. We'll have to look up our synonyms. Then we have combat. We have these are going to get tricky with words, man. Don't come odds. This is much easier when I can give you a set of text commands. Don't pass odds. field. And then we got the hard ways, hard 4, hard 4, hard 6, hard 8, hard 10. High low. Horn bet. I should really, I'm realizing already that I should not be capitalizing these because it'll try to treat them as initialisms. I don't know why I want to capitalize all the time. Okay, not sure why I made my life so hard there, but we have caught up. We're now at the horn bet. Now we have lay 4 through 10. Okay. Then we have, man, I'm calling them 1 roll 2, but those have names. One roll 3. 1 roll 11. And 1 roll 12. Pass and pass odds. And this needs to be pass line. And pass line odds. Okay. And then we have place 4 through 10. Okay. Nice, Kevin. Nice work. Place 6. Place 8. Place 9. Place 10. And the last one is world bet. World or world bet. I have so much work to do on synonyms there, but if we can just get it working, we can clean up the synonyms. Okay. So that is our slot type, craps position. I think that's all the positions. Now we come back to our intents and we look at start craps. Didn't I create a start craps? There we go. Start craps intent. Put what do I call that? before we get into this. What do we call it when we do roulette? Wager. Wager. Okay. Not sure why I couldn't remember that, but okay. Put wager on position. And it's going to be like, what are those slots? What are you doing? This is going to be a Amazon.number. Or not. Oh, what did I just do? What? Am I missing something? Did I do something wrong? Position is going to be craps position. Why can't I choose Amazon.number? Empty slot types cannot be selected. What does that mean? Bet, wager on This isn't going to work unless I can choose Amazon.number. Why isn't this doing what I... If I scroll down here, is it in the list? Amazon.number. I don't understand. What? What? Oh, there we go. I don't know what was wrong with the interface there, but I thought that should work. Okay, so we have our slot types. We have some values that are fine for now. We'll have more of these because I think about like there's combined bets too, like hardways, and if I was just to say put 5 on the hardways, that's actually 4 bets. It's like a shortcut. So that could be a position. I would just have to treat it special in my code. Oh, I don't care about special yet. Okay. So we can say wager on position, bet, whatever, and we should be able to log a craps bet. So that gets us started. So let's change our order here again. And let's think about how we're going to start this at the very beginning. So at the very, very beginning, we're going to need a start craps handler, right? Because that's what we're doing. So start roulette, start slots, start poker, spin, start craps. Goes right here. Start craps. Get out of my way, please. And this is going to be the start craps intent. And handlers dot start craps intent. Okay, that's mostly built. We need to take this piece, come down to the bottom. We'll put it with all the other starts. And then we also need to add it to the handlers. Well, yeah, be careful for sure. You definitely want to be careful with searching that term. So we have start poker. We're going to do a start craps intent. There's a fantastic Wikipedia article actually on it, Kevin Evans, and this is my favorite game at the casino by far. It's also the most complicated to build, I think. I think that building blackjack is going to be easier, but I'm leaving that one for last because I haven't written any of the code yet. I've got a lot of the craps code written already. Okay. So This is all built. Good morning, M2. Welcome, welcome. I need to figure out. Let's use start roulette as our example because we're really following exactly the same model. So I'm going to use this as the model for craps because it's really just placing a bet in a position. And so start craps intent gets created. This needs to become craps. And then down here at the bottom, we need to call it the same thing. This is a surprisingly simple little deal here. That's because all the logic is in the Chatsino, which is the whole point of all this. Okay, so the first thing we do is we need to change this. And then we have our wager and we have our position. This is exactly the same as roulette. The difference is that we're going to say here, we're going to say craps dot wager. We're going to pass in the user, the wager, and the position that they indicated. And then that's pretty much it. We'll have to tweak these things up, but that's okay. So I'm eliciting it. Please try your let wager again. I could just say, how much did you want to wager? I don't know why I did that way in roulette, but let's fix that in start roulette. Please try your roulette wager again. That's terrible. How much would you like to wager? Okay. So let's close roulette. I don't want to be in the wrong file and break things. So what we're doing is we're calling in Chatsino craps wager. And so we don't have any of this built yet. If we look at our Chatsino, we don't even have a craps folder yet. We're really kind of going from scratch. Now I have some code written because we can play some like janky version of craps here in the Twitch chat, but it doesn't work very well. And it doesn't have a lot of the logic that I need. So Chatsino first needs a new folder called craps. And that needs a file called index.js. And then we need to start talking about the files that I have already. So this is evaluator. This is where I tell it what the two dice are and what the point is. And then it'll tell me what won and what lost and what pushed. And I have three... no, I guess I just have what won and what lost because pushes don't really matter. And I have this whole logic tree for telling me based on what the roll was and the dice themselves. This is a logic tree to tell me exactly what won and what lost based on whether there's a point or whatever. Like that's all good. So I think we can just take this file as is. Well, let's start with position. Position is this file we were looking at a moment ago. Let's say copy that and let's create a file called position. And in there we're just going to dump this because this is pretty straightforward. Those are all of our positions. Okay, and then we need our evaluator, which relies on position. That's why I did that one first. So we'll take evaluator, and we'll create an evaluator file. And this is something that we have in all of our other games too, is the evaluator is the one that tells us what the outcome for the user was and how to pay out or lose the user's bets, depending on what they wagered. Okay, so then we also have pay table. I don't have anything for that. I have play. What is play? Play is when I'm actually playing the game. What is game then? Goodness, I'm gonna have to take. This is obnoxious. I got added to this Slack and they just keep creating rooms that I haven't muted and it's driving me crazy. Okay, so this is just the game, so I don't really need that. So we need to do some of this stuff. But play is going to be my core logic, I think. Ooh. Yeah, we're going to have to look at that too. Why do I have all these odds in here? Why do I have... It's based on the point, because some of the odds are dynamic, of course. Of course, of course. Okay. So let's just get into our code, the stuff that we're writing. And we need craps, and we're going to need a new file called wager, because that's the thing that we're about to do. And this is just going to be the thing that places the bat, creates the table. It's going to be exactly like roulette is done. But so let's think about this, because we need to include these files, right? So we need const wager equals require wager. And then we're going to do a module.exports. And we're going to have wager be in there. Okay. But we also need position equals require position. And we also need evaluator, I think. Probably not. Actually, let's just not do that for yet. That's not something I really need to expose. So we'll have wager and position, like so. And then we need to see what we did for roulette. Where's roulette? Roulette has a wager file. Let's open this one up. Okay, so I think we should probably just take this and bring it into this one. We're going to copy and paste our way all the way to a successful app here. So this game type needs to be craps. And that means that I need to check cashier.isValidPosition to see what it's doing. I don't have craps in here yet. So roulette position. I mean, roulette is working. What was all? I think I changed how I handle that, so it's so simple and easy now. Yeah. Okay, so that's roulette, and then we do have a craps case here, but man, that's a lot. You can see right here I need some logic here to make sure that bets can only happen at the right time. This is not done. So well, we need a craps case. And we need a bet position. We need a break of some kind down here at the end. So at least everything is structurally sound. And then where's craps position defined? It's not, so I need to define that. This is going to be craps dot position. Why is the tabbing and everything off for this? Okay. And then all I want to do for now is just say, like I did here, if how am I just like, oh, position is here. Why am I redefining position? Const bet position, and then I can just say if bet position exists, so I've basically evaluated against it, then we can say return true. Now obviously we have a lot more logic that we want to apply to this, but this is else we can just do a return false. So now if you're not giving me a valid position, then it's not going to work. Okay, so wager here, we have user, wager, and position. I think that's what we called from Start Craps, right? User, wager, position, cool. So that's what we're passing in. We're checking is valid wager. That shouldn't care about the game at all. Is valid wager is game agnostic, as I recall. It's just checking to make sure that you're giving me a valid balance, a valid amount that's less than your available balance. Okay. So is valid wager should work. Is valid position should kind of work. Yeah, it is complex, and this is like I said, I've got most of this built, so I feel okay about it. But it is a lot. So what am I? I'm passing position.value.name. I don't actually think that's what I want to do. This is where the beauty of IDs in slot types comes in. So if we look at my craps position here, I have the option for an ID, and so I think let's do a hard ways. Also, we'll figure these things out later. But you know how I have IDs for these. So if we go back and look at my craps position, I have these IDs like by 9, by 10. These are unique codes basically. And I should use those because that's how I'm going to resolve these. So I need very, very, very specific bets. So let's look at this list. Show all. So this is going to be any _ 7. And then we have any craps is all one word. Now the key with these IDs is they have to be unique. But what's cool about it is that I will receive this. I'll receive these IDs as part of my resolution. So if they say something like Big 6, I'll not only know they said Big 6, I'll also know that they resolved to Big 6, and I will get this ID, which is Big _ 6, and I can use that in my code. So we're going to do that for each of these. This will be Big 8. This will be by _ 4, and again we're going to have to come up with some clever ways to differentiate between these, because people aren't going to say buy 6 necessarily. They're going to say put money on 6, and I'm going to have to figure out that, like, oh, they're buying 6, buy 6, buy 8, buy 9, buy 10. What do I call the C and E one? C _ E. Okay, these are all pretty straightforward. I don't know how I decided sometimes to use underscores and other times not, but that's right. Like that, and then we have a field. And hard 10, and then we have high-low is pretty simple. And then we have horn. These are going to be the important pieces for me, though, as we get into this, because I'm not going to use the names. Kevin, I think this will be pretty manageable, though. I'm not too worried about being able to do this. So what are we calling these? One rolls, okay. I mean, at the end of the day, all it really is bets on a position, and me being able to evaluate your bets against the outcome of a roll, which really isn't that different from roulette, which we have working. So I feel like it'll be okay. It is complex, and I want to make sure that I get it right. But I think we'll be okay. What have you learned about craps so far? What's your takeaways? I want to know your thoughts since you haven't played. There's the challenge with craps is that there's a lot going on, but to play it well and to play it simply, and Karthik can attest to this. I can't do that. I need to figure out a better way to do this. So I'm gonna take hard ways away. Oh, hi W Giorgio. Good morning. I understand people have to work and have meetings and all that stuff. I'm glad you guys can tune in at all. Very thankful for that. Okay, so we have all of these. They all have IDs now, which is good. So let's save that. Build that. Yeah, I think the key build. Oh, what is build failed? Slot position in intent start roulette cannot reference more than one slot type. What? How could it possibly be referencing more than one slot type? So we go to start. Oh, start roulette intent. I didn't even change that. Okay, let's take a look here at what's going on. If we go to our JSON editor, sometimes this is clearer. I have all these slot types. Start roulette, poker hold, props. We're gonna sit for a second. I gotta dig into this. Those are my card suits. Those are my roulette. Roulette position. Card suits, card values. Craps position. These are all the things that I just created. What does it say? Slot position in intent, start roulette intent. So let's go look up at the intent. Start roulette intent. I don't really understand what you're saying. It's saying that cannot reference more than one slot type. Sorry, what? Can we just try building this again? Maybe it... Build. Slot position in intent start roulette intent cannot reference more than one slot type. I don't understand. I don't think that it is. Start. Where did it go? Start slots intent. No, it was start roulette that was the issue. Start roulette intent. And so I have a slot called position. what did I do to break something here? You're saying that start roulette intent has something broken in it. I don't understand. This is something new I've never run into before. How can it say, let's try refreshing. Sometimes that's all you need. Slot position in intent, start roulette intent. Okay, we're getting closer. So we're talking only about the slot position in the start roulette intent. Invalid slot type reference. I mean, I really don't know what this is or why. Oh. I didn't realize that was an issue. Okay, well, I just learned something today. So the issue that I have, and we can fix this, is we're going to call this, I guess, roulette position. And that changes everything, right? Yeah. I'm going to have to change it in my code too, but that's okay. And then here, we'll go down to craps. So it was an issue because I introduced craps, but it's evaluating roulette first. So for this, we'll change this one to craps position. Save. And that should at least get our model happy. Okay, our model's happy. So now we got to go change some code. So the start roulette intent, now this needs to be roulette position. I think this is the only real change I need to make, is just to change the name that I'm referring it to. Yeah, and then start craps, this is going to be the craps position, which is fine. I can live with this. I really liked just calling it position, but it's okay. This is an old error, right? Because it's still building. Oh man, that was weird. I really thought that within each intent, you could have a slot with the same name. But you can't have a slot with the same name if it references a different slot type. That's what I just learned. So if they were pointing to the same slot type, it would be fine. And that's probably what I've done in the past. But for this one, obviously, I have craps positions and I have roulette positions, and those are different. So that is why we failed. Full build successful. All right. So I think it's worthwhile to verify that slot still works.
You wagered 10 coins on red. What would you like to do next?
Okay.
You can place another bet, or you can say spin the wheel when you're ready.
So that works. So let's get back to the craps work that we need to do. So we need to go into craps wager, and let's think a little bit more about what this means. So this needs to be craps, and in my helper file, I need to make sure that I update the reference to this, because this is actually using a database ID. So I have craps defined here, but I want to make sure that it's the right craps. So let's go look at our data. Game type. Craps isn't even in here yet, so that's perfect. So this is going to be craps. And we're going to take this value right here. And we're going to change this to that. I'm going to move RPS. These are things that are remnants from our old stuff. So they'll show up eventually, right? We'll have blackjack. We'll have the ability to give coins to other people somehow. And I'm going to bring rock, paper, scissors back too. But that is all in time. Okay, so my helper is giving me what I need. So now I can say, get games by user record ID of type crap. So let's go look at that. Data.get games by user record ID. Data, where did you go? Data, get games by user record ID. And so in here, all we're doing is saying where user ID is that and game type ID is this. Yeah, we could do bingo or Keno. Keno might be an interesting thing. I've also thought about doing like lottery scratchers. That might be kind of fun. Like spend 100 coins to get a lottery scratcher, and then you can either scratch it off on the screen or something like that. Yeah, I think there's lots of options here. What I have to do is I have to put a dome over V1 scope, because I think there's the possibility that we could do so many things, and I would never ever be done. What I really want to do is get to a point where the Chatsino logic is done for the 5 core games that I want to support, and then move it, like replace the chatbot that we have here on Twitch and replace the chatbot, or create a chatbot for Discord. So let's add that in here though, so we don't forget. So this will be bingo and lottery scratchers. That would be kind of a fun thing to do with APL, if you could actually have somebody like wipe away the thing. That's so far away from where I am right now. Okay, so let's come back to Craps Wager, wherever that file went. This one. So this is the logic right here, that basically, if you don't have a game of craps, then I'm going to create a game of craps for you. And if you do have a game, then I've got a reference to it. So then I can say active game is this. And then I'm going to create a wager for that game. User wager position and active game. Oh, the other thing I didn't fix yet. We need to start craps intent. Instead of passing value.name, I'm going to pass value.id. Because that's the thing that we really want to know, is where is their wager. Does anyone answer these?
Incoming call from
Wow, Alexa.
614-953-5465 for
Incoming call from 614.
Whoa. That was a lot. Okay, we've got to work on that. So if you guys didn't know, they just announced, this is a US-centric thing, but I think there are some carriers in other places that do this as well. But I can now connect AT&T, my cell phone carrier, to my Alexa devices. I wasn't sure what that meant, but I just found out. And so it looks like it's treating all of my devices as telephones, and my entire house just started ringing. I mean, you heard all these, but that's also through my entire house. I've got one in like every room. So I'm going to apologize to my family now for what just happened. I'll have to tell them when I'm done here. But whoa. I didn't want it to inbound ring. I just thought it'd be cool to be able to use my cell phone when I called out. So anybody that was asleep in my house is now awake. Oof. I mean, it's 10 a.m. They should be up anyway, but... Okay, so this is a data.createWager. This should just put a record in the wager table, which is what I want. And then what I'm doing is I'm returning back user, wager, position, and active game to let them know that they have an active game. If they gave me a bad position or they gave me a bad wager, man, this might just be it. I think we've done it. So This should create a craps wager. Man, that would be amazing. If that's all I needed to do. What do you guys think? Anybody taking odds on this? Let's go see. So I'm in the casino. I should be able to say bet 5 on the pass line. Here we go.
Jeff, there was an error. What should we do now?
What was the error? Cannot read property wager of undefined. That's in start craps intent. So let's go look at that. Oh, it's talking about this. I thought I did that. Didn't I create chatsino.craps.wager? Wager's right there. I see it. And it exists. You're saying cannot read property wager of undefined. So there's something bigger missing. Chatsino.crap. Oh, because the Chatsino has an index file and it doesn't know that craps exists. That's all. I don't count this as a fail. This is just simple plumbing. Okay, let's try that again. Bet 5 on the pass line.
Jeff,
okay.
There was an error.
Now
what
we
should
probably
we do now?
Wager position is not defined. That is in is valid position. What? Oh, because this is position. I don't even really need to uppercase it because it's defined values that I'm passing to myself, so that should be good. Okay, bet 5 on the pass line.
You wagered 5 coins on pass. What would you like to do next? You can place another bet, or you can say spin the wheel when you're ready.
There's a new craps game. Look at this. Look at this in the database. There is a active craps game right here. And it has 5 bets wagered, 5 coins wagered. And if I look in the wager table, there is a 5 bet on pass, and it's active. And it's assigned to me. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Okay. We are making bets on craps already. Okay. So this is good. I don't know why. Oh, I see. This is all of this logic that's commented out here. This is it okay for me to make this bet right now? So am I passing in? I'm not even passing in. Oh, I am passing in the game. But the game itself doesn't have a point. I don't have a point right now, so I'm going to have to add that field. This is another one of those like customized fields that I only need sometimes. Like video poker doesn't have a position, but roulette and craps do. And they don't have outcomes, but video poker and slots do. All right, take care, M2. Thanks for being here. So, why is this so big? Let's shrink this field down. So I feel like we could just do. Let's put it right here. Insert one left. We're just going to call this point because that's really what we want it to be. And the point is always a number. So we'll set that to an integer. Save. Okay, so if I have my point, I need to set the point. But the point I don't know. That's nothing I need to worry about until I've rolled the dice once, because there is no point if I haven't rolled the dice. When I create the game, I should set the point to 0. So let's think about that for a moment. I have this data.create game. Is this what I called? I need the point to be a value, because otherwise I don't know how to make these decisions. Can we do this the easy way? Can I just set a default value? Default value is 0. Save. Let's get rid of my existing craps record. Oh, I did it in the wrong place anyway. This isn't even where I want this column. Delete. I want it on the game. So the game, we can put that like here, insert left. This is point. Number. And our default value is going to be 0. Okay, so if I go back to wager, I have a roulette bet, that's fine. I have a game here, though, that is craps, right? So we're going to delete this. And what I want is for the default value of the point. So right now you can see none of these values have a point at all. But when I create a new game going forward, the point should always be set to 0. It doesn't matter if it's set to 0 for roulette or slots or poker or whatever, that's fine. But I definitely need it to be 0 for craps. So if I come to my browser and I say bet 5 on the pass line.
You wagered 5 coins on pass. What would you like to do next? You can place another bet, or you can say spin the wheel when you're ready.
Didn't do it. It didn't set a default value, so I'm going to have to do that in the code. Okay. So I think this is what we're calling, right? If we go back to start craps intent, this calls wager. Wager is this one, and this is where we check the two things, and then we check to see if they have a game, and then we call create game. So helper.craps tells me that, but what I really need to know is in create game, I can just always set the point to 0. Doesn't matter what kind of game it is. Okay, that should be okay. So now let's go delete our wagers again. Delete. Game. Delete. I need that wager field, or the point field, to be 0, because otherwise I can't know what their bets are going to be and whether they're valid.
You wagered 5 coins on pass. What would you like to do next? You can place another bet,
Point is
or
0.
you can say spin the wheel when you're ready.
Okay, so the point is 0. That's great. So now when I create my game, I'm creating it with a point of 0. Then we receive that game, and so now I have. Oh shoot. I need to do this in a different order. This stuff This is the piece that creates their game or gets their game for me. I need to check if it's a valid position, but I don't know if it's a valid position unless I have information about the game. So if I do this here, then I think I can just say active game. This is actually maybe how I should structure other things too, but if it's a valid wager, then we can go ahead and at least create their game for them. And then if it's a valid position, then we make their bet for them. So the thing that I really need to know is valid position here. What does point equal? By the way, I found another cool shortcut yesterday. We've worked a lot here on the idea of being able to console log things out. Have you guys done this? Console.log. Point. Just like this. I don't know if you guys have seen this syntax before. Normally I write something in my console log that's like, hey, this is what I'm looking at, or this is what the value is, or whatever. But I was just reading and I saw this yesterday. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So let me show you how that works. This should still all work, I think. Let's get rid of our craps game because we want to try that getting created one more time. Come on, delete. Okay. So if we come over here and we say bet 5 on the pass line, should still work.
You wagered 5 coins on pass. What would you like to do next?
But check this out.
You can place another bet, or you can say spin the wheel when you're ready.
This right here is what happens when I just put that point in curly braces. It automatically writes the name of it, it puts a colon, and then it writes the value out for me. And so I can see that my point is 0 pretty easily without having to write things like I do for a lot of this other stuff like active game. Pretty awesome, actually. And so that's like, instead of doing like json.stringify and all that, you can just wrap those brackets and it just does it for you automatically. Didn't know that existed, but I'm so glad that I do now. So little tip for you guys today if you guys hadn't seen that before. Okay, so we can get rid of that. I just wanted to see that the point was coming through and that everything was still working. That's great. Okay, so we can now create a game and create bets. And we should be able to do that, right? Like bet 10 on hard 6.
You wagered 10 coins on hard _6. What would you like to do next?
Got something to
You
fix
can
there.
place another bet, or you can say spin the wheel when you're ready.
So let's look at the response, which is actually the start craps intent, right? So you wagered this. This is the active game on result.position. Why am I passing back just the position? Let's look at wager. Oh, because what I really want is the What am I doing in is valid position? Isn't that where I evaluate and check? Yeah, like this. So this is the thing that I really need over here. I don't really like doing this. Oh, I can do this on the wager side. This is okay. Okay. So I'm creating their wager, and then we're going to do position like this. And then that means on the outside, what I'm getting is the whole object. And I should be able to say position dot, and what do we, if we look at the evaluator for craps, no, not evaluate, position, they end up being like name. So I want position dot name. Okay. Position dot name. This should look a little cleaner and not have those underscores. So I think that's all I needed to do. Let's try it again. Bet 10 on hard 6.
You wagered 10 coins on hard 6. What would you like to do next? You can place another bet, or you can say spin the wheel when you're ready.
Well, spin the wheel isn't going to work. You can say roll the dice. And we need to look at this position thing. The position you indicated is invalid. You know what I should do here? If it comes back as invalid position, I wonder if I could return back as part of my response the list of valid positions. That would be pretty sweet, actually. So if it's not a valid position, then we're returning the position you wanted. Oh, this is going to get tricky. This shouldn't be as necessary. I don't want to put a ton of work into this, but this is basically someone playing craps and trying to make a wager on a position that doesn't really exist. But there is certainly the possibility that they're trying to make a bet on a position that's not valid currently. Well, I think we're just going to go shorthand for now. I don't want to spend a ton of time on that, but I will leave myself a note that we should do this cool thing. Please place where do you want to place your wager coins. Invalid isn't really even a word I should use. I should change that up to be something else, but invalid position, how much did you want to wager on position zero dot value dot name. Okay, I mean, I hope I never really hit those cases very often, but it's always a possibility, I suppose. So we're now taking bets. It's 10:15. how much more can I get done today? Let's get rid of this because this doesn't apply. So if we look at roulette, we have start roulette intent and we have spin roulette. Are those the only two? Yeah, so we could call this like roll craps intent or something like that. We can at least create that intent. Intent, add an intent. Roll craps intent. Roll the dice. Dice are out. Out. Shoot the dice. Throw the dice. Roll the bones. How about that? Save that. Build. And then we will be on our way. So we now have an intent for rolling craps. Doesn't do anything yet, but we can start building the rigging for this. So let's go back to the very beginning. Start with index, and the first thing we need is a roll craps intent handler. Roll, roll, roll. It goes here. Roll craps. And that is going to go all the way down here. Spin roulette. Roll craps. Almost there. Okay, so this is going to be roll craps, and this is going to be roll craps. Great. So the next step is to create, if we do a spin roulette intent, let's use that as our basis because that's the same idea. Same idea, same idea. Roll craps intent .js. That looks good. That looks good. This looks good. Whoa. No, 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 no. Roll craps intent. Okay. So that needs to be registered on the index. It's interesting to me that start craps doesn't show up properly here, but it works. Okay. Equals require. Needs to be down here. Why is that doing that? Start craps intent. It doesn't make any sense to me why that would be blue. Start craps intent, start craps intent. Weird. Okay. So what I want is the roll craps intent now, and let's take a look and see how quickly we can get through this. So this is going to be roll craps. We're going to have to add to our help content for sure. This is going to be chatsino.craps.play, so we'll have to build that. I found a new sound effect. If you guys haven't actually heard the new roulette sound effect, you want to hear that? Turn up my volume. I feel like I need to make it louder, but if we do bet 10 on red.
You wagered 10 coins on red. What would you like to do next?
Here's the new roulette.
You can place another bet, or you can say spin the wheel when you're ready. The wheel landed on 1. You bet 10 on red and won 10 coins. You bet 10 on red and won 10 coins. You won a total of 20 coins, which brings your total to 1,634. I've returned all of your coins from the table. What would you like to do now?
All right, so that's the new sound effect. Roulette is still kicking along. That's good. So we will need a dice rolling sound effect. And we're going to have a number of properties that we're going to have to pass back from craps.play, which doesn't even exist yet. Yeah, I think that one sounds better. I agree with you, Kevin. Craps, we don't even have a play file yet, so let's do that. And then in our index, we'll register it so we can do it. Const play equals require play. Okay, so we have play, we have position, we have wager. Play doesn't do anything yet, and this is where, when we look at this play, we're going to have to really think about how this works. And I think we'll just kind of piecemeal our way through this. So I have a roll function. Where does, oh, roll must be defined down here somewhere. Yeah. So we'll take this first, bring it over to play. We're going to do a module.exports equals play. That's all we're sending out here. And then we need a async function play. I don't know what goes in there yet, but it's going to look like this. So its play takes just the game object, okay. All right, so that means that for roll craps, when we call this, we should be calling not user, but game. And of course, how do I know what their game is? I don't have it. So what am I doing in roulette play that is so clever that I don't need to pass in the game? Roulette play. I'm getting their game. Okay, so first things first, inside craps is we need to import a few things. Probably all these. Okay. So then I can use the user as the thing instead of the game. And that means that when we come to roll craps, now this can be session attributes.user, which is perfect. So play.js. We now are getting the user's game based on a craps game. And if they don't have a game, then we tell them that they don't have a current game. So roll craps intent here. We say no. Where do we do that? Not even handling that? Wow. Okay. Well, let's do this the right way. Start craps. What I do here? No, not that one. The wager. Wager. What I do here is if they don't have a game, then I create a game for them. So let's do that here in craps. So that if somebody just wants to roll the dice but they don't have any bets, they can do that. So play craps. The first thing we do is say this. So we'll get rid of this line. And then we can say if game dot length is 0, then active game, create game for that user. Great. Else active game, no, game equals game 0. Because that would be what we pulled back from the array. This also needs to be game. Okay. Then we can get rid of this piece. I don't really know why I did this. That was annoying. Okay, so now I have the game. So now let's see how we treat the game. I need to roll the dice. So our first thing is to get our 2 values and our total and set our point in the game. So let's do that. So I'm calling my roll function, which just gives me back die 1 and die 2. And then I add those together to get my total. And then I'm setting the point. Oh, I guess I'm just simplifying for myself. I'm retrieving the point. I thought I was setting the point. Okay, now I get my outcome, which is done by the evaluator. So this needs to know not only what the dice are, but what the current point is. So that will give me all that information back. All right, so what do we do next? So now I'm getting all of their bets, and I'm running that against the outcome. Okay. How do I, well, let me check and see how I'm doing this in roulette, because it should be the same idea. I get a bunch of information. Get wagers by game. I should fix this in both places. This is so easy. Take this stuff. Okay, let's see how much I just broke. I want to try something here. We're going to go look at our data, because I haven't actually validated that this works yet, but I have a couple roulette bets that are active. No. Okay, but I have a roulette game that's active. That's this, because once you create a roulette game, it's just always open. Delete the active game, and now I should just be able to say spin the wheel.
Jeff, there was an error. What should we do now?
Or there was an error. Cannot read property fields of undefined and get wagers by game. We're really looking at roulette play. So where's get wagers by game? Right here? Oh, because this is no longer game 0. Reference that anywhere else? Game 0. Alright, did that actually create the record that I wanted though? It did. So that's cool. So it is creating the game for me even when we do that. But now I should be able to say spin the wheel even though I don't have any bets. And it should spin.
The wheel landed on 27. You didn't have any coins on the table. You didn't win anything, but you also didn't lose anything, right? You lost a total of 0 coins, which brings your total to 1,636. What would you like to do now?
Okay, cool. So that's a nice little fix. All right, so let's talk about craps now. So we are getting our outcome, and then we need to compare the bets against that outcome. And the way that I do that here in roulette is I get wagers by game. Oh, this is going to be so much more complicated, but we can at least start here. Wagers, play. So that's going to go here. Get wagers by game. And I'm passing in my game object, so it should be able to do that for me. Then I have this update array and payout. I'll probably need those. Where do I create this update array? Oh, so I go through each record and I'm creating the fields that are necessary for each wager. Yeah, okay, so we're going to need update array and payout because this will be how I communicate back to the user. So we'll create those, and then we need to go through the list of wagers that we have, and so that's going to be this. And we'll bring this over, and we'll say this. So let's be clean about it. For this wagers.length, we're going to go through each item, and then once we've gone through that loop, this is where we actually make the updates. So we'll take this. No, not that file, this file. And so after our loop, we're going to say, if update array length is greater than 0, then we're going to call cashier.updateWagers, and this will auto work because all I'm doing is passing in an array of wagers that I've already modified, and it'll change them all for me, so that's pretty easy. Then I need to update the user's balance, and that's by taking how much am I giving them and who the user is. So that'll go here. And then we're also doing, we have this roulette table. We're saving every spin. So every time we spin, we're just keeping a date timestamp on it and what game it was. Why am I not saving user ID? Let's take a look at that too. So save data.saveSpin is in here somewhere. Save spin. I'm passing it game and spin. But I should be able to do user ID, and this should be game.fields. If I look at game, doesn't game have a user ID field? It does. So user ID. Okay. So that's for roulette. That's save spin. Save, I guess we'll have a save roll, which is very, very similar. File, save as, save roll.js. This is going to be called craps. Game ID, this will be die1. Die2. And I don't even know if I can figure that out on the other side. So we have to create a table called craps that has those 4 fields. And this needs to be save roll. And we need to add this to the index. So save spin, save roll. Okay. So save roll, I just need to go create that table now. So in here we need a table called craps. Create empty table. Craps. This field's going to be record ID, as we always do. And it will be a formula equal to record ID. Great. Roulette. then it was game ID, so we'll do the same, game ID. And this is a link to another record in game. Don't link to multiple records, save. Then we need die1. This is just going to be a number, and that's not what I called it. Die number integer, save. This needs to be die underscore 1 because that's what I called it. And then we need to duplicate that field. Can I do that? Can I duplicate field? Nice. Die 2. Okay. And then this is going to be user ID. Again, we're going to do that. We need a lookup field, so this will be total. And this is going to be a formula that is die 2. And then I think I had like a created date, which is just a simple created time. Do the friendly, do the GMT, save. Okay, great. Now let's delete all the records. And we have a table for crap. So I'll move this over here by roulette. Let's get back into some code. So now I have this save roll function. It seems like it's doing its thing. Should be, I mean, I didn't change much, so that should work pretty well. Passing in, oh, I need this to be die 1 and die 2. And then when we call save roll from play, craps, play, when we call save roll, which I guess I haven't done yet, so let's do this. We should then be able to const save roll equals save roll, and it's game, and whatever we called those two dice, die 1, die 2, no, what do we call them up here? Die 1, die 2, okay. So this is die 1, die 2. Now this isn't going to change any of my wagers, but it should. I think we're in a place where we should be able to run this right now, and it should save the die to the database. What do you think? Roll the dice.
Jeff, there was an error. What should we do now?
So what happens when you try to run code? Evaluator is not a function. We're calling that from play. What do you mean evaluate? Oh, but yes it is. You can see it right here. What do you mean it's not a function? Evaluator, die 1, die 2. It's exported as evaluator. What are you talking about? Wager, 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 craps. Okay. No, I don't want that. Why am I? Play craps. Okay. It's saying that evaluator is not a function for some reason. On line 15. Certainly looks like it is. Evaluator, evaluator, why aren't you working? I don't think I understand why that is happening. Evaluator is not a function.
Jeff, there was an error. What should we do now?
Evaluator is not a function. Isn't this exactly what I'm doing in Play Roulette? Like, identically? Too many files open. It's bothering me. Okay, there's the Craps Evaluator and Craps Play, and we are calling Evaluator right here. So this is play.js, which is inside the Craps folder. Why don't you see it? Visual Studio Code sees it. If I say console.log evaluator, you probably see it. Roll the dice.
Jeff, there was an error. What should we do now?
Cannot read property spin result. That's fine. Well, I don't know what I did differently, but now that seems to be working. And now the roll craps intent is freaking out about something called spin result. Right here. Well, that must mean then that we saved something to the database. Holy cow. Look at that. We have 2 dice. We rolled a 6 and a 2. We got an 8. So that worked. That was the thing that I was testing. The error that we got is the... so what we want to say here is something like, you rolled... and I should use the... I'll do it the boring way for now, but we need to think about our play return. So in here we have this object. If we look at roulette, we can do something similar. Roulette play. We have this output object, this result. So we need to do, this is the last step we need to do in play. Now, we're not evaluating against any of the bets or making sure that the bets you're making are valid. That's still the hard work of this, but we can at least have a really dumb thing that can roll some dice. So this is updated user. Spin result is going to be die 1. And die 2. I have a result, I have an outcome, I have a payout. It's not called a result though. Wow, this is, let's call this evaluation because that'll just be more. If I called it outcome earlier, and then we're all messy here with like what the outcome, the evaluation, everything is. So now the result is the result of the dice roll, like the evaluation, and the outcome is what happened to all your bets, and then we have payout and we have completed. Okay. So now if I look at roll craps intent, we need to change this to be you rolled we need to do result dot die 1 plus result dot die 2. Because I think I want to tell them the amount they got first, like you rolled a 7 or you rolled a 11 or whatever, and then I'll tell. So like you rolled an 11, it was a 6 and a 4. It was a result dot die 1. No, come on, keep up with me here. Result dot die 1 and a result dot die result dot die 2. And then we got to do all this. So if result.outcome.length is equal to 0, you didn't have any coins. That's what we're doing right now. And then this will loop through all of my outcome things to tell me like what you won, what you lost, and then we also need to think about return speech and how that's going to work, because we really don't, we're not going to be returning all the coins from your table. But this should at least get me to a place where if we look at play, I can get rid of this comment up here at the top. I don't know what I did or what I fixed, but it's working now. And we should be able to say, roll the dice.
You rolled 9. It was a 5 and a 4. You didn't have any coins on the table. You didn't win anything, but you also didn't lose anything, right? You lost a total of 0 coins, which brings your total to 1,640. What would you like to do now?
Okay, so we're in a good spot. We have the craps engine working. There's two very, I can't believe we got this far today. This is actually pretty awesome. Let's look at our to-do, and we got to go down here to craps because we said have not even started this. Now we have so much done. We need to say, we need to check is valid wager to make sure that only valid bets are made at valid bet times. Then we need, all right, take care, Kevin. I'm taking off here in a second anyway, but thank you guys for being here today. I will not be here tomorrow. I have a workshop that I'm doing, and so I will not be on tomorrow morning like I normally am. We need to check his valid wager. We also need to compare the wagers to the evaluation to determine wins and losses, and we need to recite the outcomes of the wagers to the user properly. Okay. Boy, this feels good. We made a lot of progress on craps today. I wasn't expecting to be able to knock that much out of it, but we had a good stream today. All right. I'm feeling good today, everybody. This went really well, and we are now rolling dice, and we have a game. And now I have a open craps table. The way that the system is set up is once you decide to play craps once, you always have a table open, and you can always keep your chips on there or not keep your chips on there. And but you'll only ever have one game of craps. There's not multiple tables or anything. Oh, excuse me. So with that, I am going to sign off. Well, let's do this. Let's come over here to a little GitHub action. And let's say we started craps today. So we'll do that, push origin. And then something I haven't been very good about this week, but I want to get more in the habit of, you guys need to remind me, is that we need to raid somebody. So let's go do that. Twitch, Stream Manager. Let's go see who's down for a raid. It's not a big raid today, but it's a raid. Let's go to Code It Live. See what they're doing. They got 13 people there. What's happening over there?
This is like the 4th time it's happening. Not good.
Oh, Sam Basu. Yeah, we're gonna do it. So this guy's name is Sam Basu. He's super awesome, really great guy, and I've known him for a very long time, so it's exciting that we're going to be able to send some people over there. So let's go do some raiding, everybody. Thank you guys all for coming. I'll see you soon.